We begin another season. I should like great gossip.
The social season might look a little different this...
No. You must begin the proper way.
Dearest gentle reader.
Hi, and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for Bridgerton Season 4, Part 1. So, let's have some tea with the Queen and see whether this series is still as good as it has been in past seasons. Bridgerton returns for a fairy tale-inspired fourth season. Bohemian's second son, Benedict Bridgerton, refuses to settle down, despite pleas to the contrary of the matriarch lady, Violet Bridgerton. Until, at Violet's masquerade ball, Benedict is awestruck by a masked, mysterious lady in silver. So the season starts with the family having been away and they're coming back together, and there's going to be a new kind of debutante ball. This time it's a masquerade ball, and everybody's going to do the amazing dances, and the costumes are going to look lavish, which they do, and they look fantastic in the masquerade ball. There's particularly some standout costumes, which I was impressed with. The Queen, once again, looks like she's stepped out of something like Tim Burton's Off With His Head Queen. And we're going to get a Cinderella story, but Bridgerton style, and that works really well this season. So far, the first 4 episodes, this is my favorite season since that original, because they've found some magic here. They've taken an inspired Disney story, its original princess, the slipper and all of that, and then shoved it into this Bridgerton world, which is quite fun and very Cinderella-esque itself. It's hyper-realized fantasy, dramedy, romantasy, all those kind of sub-genres that we have here. And if you've liked watching the Bridgertons and you love the Lady Whistledown storyline, then you're probably in it already. You just want to hear whether you still... is it as good as it was? And I would say, yeah, if not better, because they're working on all the characters that some of them have been revealed now from previous storylines. Some families are now together. Some they no longer need to find places to kind of put different family members. This time around, we're going for that kind of second son who nobody thought was going to settle down. He doesn't want to himself until, romance kind of sweeps him off his feet, and someone that is unlike any person he's ever met, the cliche stuff. And yet that works really well here because you really like them for each other. And when you're seeing these two walks of life, it's like Downton Abbey, the two different hierarchies. There are some that treat their servants and their maids like lesser than some families, and the Bridgertons, thankfully, have been mostly kind to their servants and their maids and people that they treat almost as family. And so you're seeing the different hierarchies at play here, and that works well within the Cinderella story. So you get this romance that's going to be strained because two walks of life, the lower class and the higher class, they just don't mix well, and everybody's going to tell them to be doing what they should be doing and going against what their hearts are telling them to do. When it comes from our new character who is playing the Cinderella character, we have this amazing actress, Yaren Ha, who really kind of showcases the two types of walks of life she comes from. Her background is really interesting with the Cinderella story, but given the Bridgerton twist. Of course, we got Luke Thompson still doing Benedict Bridgerton, and he's that guy that he needs to grow up. He knows he needs to grow up, but at the same time, he feels like he hasn't really found his place in the Bridgerton family. And he just kind of is running businesses and doing his thing. The mother and the daughters are all still they're all still sort of finding their place, but the focus is definitely on the Cinderella story and with the Queen, which is an interesting story, which I won't go into spoilers for that. Suffice to say, the music is once again fantastic. The costumes are big and lavish. The romance, they've really kind of gone hard in that. And there is some nudity, but they're a little bit less flamboyant than they have been in the past. The language still is old-timey-wimey, the exact like they should be, but has a modern flair or twist in some of the sayings. Again, the music has some kind of remixes of scores you may have heard of, but it kind of mixes it for the now, for their timepiece, and I think that all works really well. It's 8 episodes. The first 4 episodes are all an hour or more long. So they're quite hefty in length. There are loads of interesting storylines if you're not that into the romance as well. If you're more interested in some of the drama, like Lady Danbury, she has an interesting storyline. She wants to maybe start differently in her life and seeing how that relates to the Queen. All these kind of storylines threads well within each other. Some of the main stories lines that we've had before with some of the characters do take a bit of a step back. I'll be interested to see what they're going to do for the second half, but I think for the most part they're just going to be concentrating on that Cinderella story with some of the side plot characters working to elevate the drama when there isn't that romance or that romanticy drama working for it. Suffice to say, this was an interesting watch because I was absorbed. I'm not normally into massive period pieces, but I've been on board with this one since the beginning. I like the costumes. I think they've done a fantastic job. I like the characters. You're rooting for the Bridgertons and Lady Whistledown, and you're rooting for the Queen, even though she's a hard character to get to know. I like the characters that are even supposedly the bad guys. You know they're going to stir up drama. It's just an easy watch, and I think this has been probably the best season so far since the first original. So thanks so much for watching. I'm not going to give it a full review yet because this is only part 1. Part 2 comes out a month later. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Who are you looking forward to seeing most back? And who are you hoping was finally going to sort their lives out? What's your favorite character? I have so many to choose from. I do love Lady Whistledown. I do love the Queen because she is such a flamboyant. Her costumes are amazing. But yeah, the new princess lady, the new actress that has been the Cinderella character, really like her. I think she's done a great job. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.
I guess we're not going to be leaving now, right?
I'm sorry, Newt.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.